Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca.
And in this video, we're talking about the changes that have happened to us over the years from being in the lifestyle. Good? Bad? Well, we'll see.
So keep watching. So today, we've actually been asked a question a couple of times about this online. People want to know, how has being in the lifestyle changed us personally?
Changed us?
Has it changed us? What kind of changes has it made to us?
Okay, over the years.
We've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah, well, we've been in the lifestyle now at this point 12 years, and so we were younger back in the day. You know, wilder, young, spry children.
Sure.
As we were when we first got in the lifestyle. You know, you go through an evolution over the years.
Absolutely.
You know, you start out. When you first get in the lifestyle, you're like, oh my God, I'm a kid in a candy store. At least I was.
Absolutely.
And it was one of those things where it was like, I want to have sex with everybody. I want my penis in all the vaginas.
I'm pretty sure at one point you were called the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah. I forgot about that. What a good nickname. Yeah. At this point, I'm more of like a Winco brand of battery, but back in the day we started, I was definitely an Energizer Bunny. But yeah, I mean, obviously sex changes over the years, but I guess it is a question really more about like us changing as
I think
people.
All of it. In what ways has being in the lifestyle changed you?
Okay. Well, has it changed you?
Oh, absolutely.
Give me an example.
Okay. First of all, I stay up later.
You're forced to. That's no decision of yours whatsoever. It's other people saying, "Come on, it's like after 9, Bianca, stay up so that we can have sex."
Or friends of ours making sure that I'm fully caffeinated, like handing me a coffee at 8 or 9 o'clock so that I'm awake past 11.
Yeah, that's
But I mean, I definitely dress sexier than I used to.
That is true.
I do feel like I have more confidence than I used to.
What brought that on?
Just being in the lifestyle. I think the lifestyle, for me, my experience, is such a positive community. And the people that are out there that compliment you constantly and make you feel good and lift you up, that's bound to do something great for your confidence.
And you don't think that was the case before we got in the lifestyle?
I mean, maybe a little bit, because I was pole dancing before we got into the lifestyle, and that definitely did boost my confidence. I was wearing skimpier, clothing just because of the pole dancing, wear a sports bra and little booty shorts and that kind of stuff. It just, pole dancing in general makes you feel sexier.
Right.
But I just think that being in the lifestyle, being able to wear outfits that make me feel good and sexy often, going on vacations and wearing those outfits the whole time and that kind of stuff, like, it does definitely boost my confidence. Okay.
Do you find that you pay attention to how you look more? Like, for example, like, I know it's common when people get in the lifestyle, suddenly they're dating again. Like, if you look at it from the perspective of, oh my gosh, we've been married for 20 years or whatever it might be, and we've been comfortable with each other, and you see me in my sweats or, 3/4 of the day, because why bother getting dressed, and all the usual things that happen after you're married for a long time. But then you suddenly get into the lifestyle and you have this kind of mindset change of, oh my gosh, we're in the dating world and we're in it together this time. So did you find that like you were paying more attention, like, for example, like what you eat or work out or just your healthier skin?
I don't know that being in the lifestyle is necessarily, I mean, I feel like I've always kind of thought about that stuff.
Okay.
I think that for me, again, since getting into pole dancing, that's what drives my workout schedule. I work out not for you or anybody else. I work out so that I can get the cooler tricks.
Okay.
So for me, it's not about the lifestyle and that kind of stuff. Because I also somewhat have an attitude of take it or leave it. It is what it is. I've got this amazing person right here. You seem to like me the way I am.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
See, I personally, I'm from my perspective, I disagree. Not about you, about me. Like, and I would tend to think probably a lot of people in lifestyle, both men and women, look at it from the perspective of, okay, I'm dating again, so I'm gonna start working out again. I'm gonna start dressing better. I know I dress a lot better than I used to. There's no question about that, and it was because of that concept. I mean,
so wait,
yes,
you would dress better for other people and not for me?
I was about to say that because it's a legitimate point, because it's like suddenly the of what I was saying before, the level of comfort that a couple has after they've been together for years, it's not an overnight thing. It's a slow process of why why bother. That's kind of, I mean, that's a very negative thing to say. It's more along the lines of just being comfortable with someone.
Right.
And
now, would you say that your comfort level as far as like dressing, so you do dress nice when you come to the club or you're at a lifestyle event, when you would go on like out with me and there's no sex with other people or anything, would you still try harder, or would you just be like phone it in?
Ooh, good question. Because another factor, which we'll probably get into, is just, obviously our communication skills have improved. And that is something that I'm okay with asking you, and you're okay with telling me. Like, there'll be times where you're like, Matt, that shirt you're wearing, like we're just going to the mall or something like that, and you're like, wow, that is a really ugly, no, you wouldn't say it's a really ugly shirt, but you should wear this shirt instead, type of thing. I get that. I get that. And that's not necessarily me wanting to dress poorly. It's more along the lines of me not having fashion sense. And you're very good at that. People comment all the time about your fashion sense. So there's no question you're very, very good at that. That's something that comes naturally to you. So actually, I appreciate that when you are being honest with me about everything in life. But that's definitely a factor too, where we were getting ready half hour ago, and it was I'm looking in the mirror going, okay, it wasn't necessarily about what other people are going to say, does that tie match your eyes or anything like that. It was it was just I just want to look good. It wasn't necessarily about the sex that I will be having with other people, but that's also I said not necessarily, because I want to look as presentable as I can, so that someone goes, oh, that guy's hot, I want to go talk to him and maybe have sex with him. Yes, I mean, that is the ultimate goal at any lifestyle event, I believe, even though we say all the time it's really about more being social than anything, which it totally is. And I'm totally okay with a night where nothing happens with other people. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But that doesn't change the fact that I like to feel good in what I'm wearing, and I know that people will tell me. We had a friend of ours last night in our hot tub who specifically said she commented on the picture that you have of me in your phone, like as your back screen. And she's like, oh my God, that's such a hot picture. And it's because I'm dressed nicely in the picture. I know. I like to have a suit on.
He is so hot in that picture.
Thank you.
She's not the only one that has seen that picture and went, damn.
Okay.
Several of my friends who've seen that have been like, wow, Matt cleans up.
That's right. Yeah, you put the proper lighting on, Matt, not this lighting in here and there. You go. Yeah. So, but back to what we were saying. I mean, communication, when you are honest with me about those things, is important and vital to me, and it makes me feel better about going out and doing all of the things. And I would tend to say that communication between you and I, and probably anyone else in lifestyle, that is going to be the number one change that you have going in the lifestyle.
Sure.
And even though we've been doing this a long time, it's still there are always gonna be some things that pop up where we're still a husband and wife, where we're in an argument, she's like, fine, everything's fine, and I'm like, oh, it's not fine, but then we like kind of pull that out.
You think we do that now?
Oh, it comes up.
I don't agree with you on that.
Well, I'm maybe not literally everything's fine, but just sometimes when we're communicating, that it's like one of us puts up a roadblock,
sure,
and then it takes the other person to kind of pull that out, and then when we open up and then it ends up, we might talk for a long time, or if it was something positive or something negative or something about us or whatever it might be, just the fact that we do that communicate instead of keeping it in. makes for a better life.
Yeah.
And that is unquestionably the biggest change that I feel between you and I.
Absolutely.
And after talking to many hundreds or thousands of people doing this over the years, they'll all say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like your communication skills just go wild. We have some friends who just recently got in lifestyle, and they have just told us numerous times, like their mind is blown by how well they communicate with each other now.
Yeah.
That they didn't realize that there wasn't much communication until they got in lifestyle, and then they were just kind of allowed to just let it all out, and all the good and all the bad, and it was okay to do that, and they're so much closer because of it.
Yeah.
And that's super common. That's super common. What else would you say is a change with you?
Well, I would say definitely have better quality friends.
Yes, that's a good one. I hadn't thought of that one.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, that's good. So before we got in lifestyle, I would oftentimes comment about your friends because you're a very positive. We're both very positive people, as you probably can tell from these. Very optimistic, very positive in general, and you've always been that way. That was one of the first things that attracted me to you 28 years ago, is that you're just cute too, and I'm not talking hot. You're just a cute person, and positive and all that kind of stuff. And for whatever reason, all of your girlfriends over all these decades before we got in lifestyle were like these soul suckers.
Yeah.
We're like people that just would come, like you'd hang out with them and they'd be like, you'd be at the mall or you'd be somewhere and you'd be talking bad, not you, they'd be talking bad about everybody else walking around. Oh my God, did you see her outfit? Or just, I hate my husband. Like that was always the biggest factor with Vanilla Friends is they would talk about just how much they can't stand their husband, which is like what we talk about all the time when we watch a sitcom or something like that. And we're like, the husband and wife are fighting with each other, and the whole thing would have they wouldn't have had the 23 minutes to talk about the problem if they would have literally spent that 30 seconds to just communicate, and there would be no plot to it, because that's what we're good at doing here. And that was always something, like every friend you had was just like, and I never particularly liked them because it was always just one of those things where it was like, oh my God, they're going to bring Bianca down because they're just so blah. They're just so negative in life. And then we get in lifestyle, and we're in it a while, and we have friends that pop into lifestyle and pop out, or they move away. And I mean, we've been doing this a long time, but over the years, the ones that have held on really, really well, and even the ones that just kind of are new to it, new to our close circle of friends, are just so positive. They're just so wonderful and positive that and you bring that to them, and they bring that to you, and I'm part of that, and it's just such a good feeling to have this circle of people, and that's a lot more than just our close circle.
Right.
It's the people that we randomly see at the club once a year, that we talk to for 10, 15 minutes that are just like amazing. Yeah. They're just amazing. Everybody's amazing. And it's just like, it's so nice to be surrounded by that, which is oftentimes why we'll say that once you get in lifestyle, you tend to find your vanilla friends, like you stop hanging out with them. Like they either become very boring.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't really hang out with any vanilla friends anymore. They've just kind of dropped off. I think the last bit of friends that I would sort of hang out with were work friends when I worked in. And
they knew what they knew about lifestyle, and they would gladly ask you about things.
Right. And I remember going to a burlesque show with them, and I was just bored almost by their company because of the negativity of constantly complaining about everything and commenting about people's outfits or whatever. And it was just so catty. And I remember thinking, I wish I was here with my other girlfriends. Yeah. Which I did go back to the I was redeemed.
And it's...
And I mean, just even, like we were talking about this, last night we had some friends over just to hang out in the hot tub. There was no sex, there was no making out, there was no nothing. It was all very vanilla. But we just had such a great time just hanging out with a couple of friends that are just, lifestyle friends. And it was just it was so great. Our quality of friends have definitely gone up. Sex or no sex, it doesn't even matter. You can take the sex out of the equation, and we just
Yeah, because I find that lifestyle people, at least what I see, the little things don't bother them. The little things don't make big things, because maybe in the scheme of things, we realize it's like if you and I have a fight, okay, we know that we're going to work through the fight because we've done it before.
Right.
We've done it 100 times. We'll do it again, and everything will be fine after that. And I think that's the difference. That is a major difference between lifestyle people and vanilla people, and so that we can actually have those conversations and be able to just kind of not worry about the little things. Like we talk about that on cruises all the time. We go on lifestyle cruises, and they're so nice because when we go on vanilla cruises, everybody's going, oh, the buffet was so much better last time, and oh, that show was horrible, and da 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 da. And we're like, we didn't notice any of those negative things.
Right.
Like I'm is your whole life evolve around the buffet? and so on, like on a lifestyle cruise like that, like nobody's doing that at all,
right?
Because they're just like, we just want to have a good time. We want to meet all the people, talk to all the people. So I think
what we both would say is that the lifestyle has made us even more positive people.
Yeah,
and we've always been. You know what? I don't know that I would say that you've always been a positive person. I feel
really?
like you've become a much less negative, much more positive person since we've been in the lifestyle.
You know what? You're totally right.
Yeah.
I take back everything I said because that's a legitimate point. I was thinking of this last week. So if I have any friends here that are watching that that knew me in high school, okay, I was negative. I was but I was snarky, so I never looked at it as a negative thing. But like I was like famously pessimistic, and that's just how I was with all my high school friends and that. And so yes, when I was in my teens and early 20s, I was totally like that. A couple weeks ago, we were at Westport, the big event that Sapphire does 3 times a year on the beach, and a woman came up to me and she specifically called me
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. She said, "You're just like Ted Lasso," because he is so positive and upbeat, and I'm like, oh my God, that was like the greatest compliment I've ever heard. I don't know if you've watched that show, but that show is amazing. But the character is like just almost cartoonishly positive, and I love that. And I try to be that person, but not consciously. And when someone that I hadn't met before specifically said that to me, I'm like, that is like the best compliment in the world. And I would say, yes, absolutely. Over the last dozen years that we've been doing this, there has been that improvement in me that I didn't really even know that I needed, but I'm totally that guy now. Yeah. And it's wonderful.
And what about our sex life? Do you think that it has changed our sex life?
Yeah, because we find out what we want and what we don't. We
actually talk about it now. Like we used to never talk about what kind of porn we liked, or most couples, they don't talk about what they're into, or they may not know, and they may not know it's okay to ask for it or explore it. Hey, I'm kind of thinking I might want to be tied up. What do you think about that? And you're so afraid of being judged by that little kink that you might have, or that little thing, that you just never say it, and then it just kind of eventually you might end up divorced because you're like, I really want to get spanked,
or you just accept the fact that that's never going to happen, and it'll stay a fantasy, and that might be okay with you, and you're okay with that, but it's still in your brain,
right?
It's still, especially, I mean, guys have that all the time, where every guy has a fantasy about being with 2 women. I mean, like every guy has that fantasy growing up. I mean, that's why it's that common in porn, and it's like, but you can really do that thing,
right?
And it's okay in life if you don't, but it's even better if you can. So anyway, so I think when it comes down to it, yes, there are changes that happen to you in lifestyle. Biggest thing is really communication. Your sex definitely becomes better with each other, becomes better and better with other people too. And it's always been a very much of positive experience for us. And the reason we do these videos is to kind of let other people know what world they're entering, and how if you do communicate well with each other, you're going to have the time of your life. Time of your life. The lifestyle is the best. We just love it. And while you're thinking about that, right now, what you need to do is go to www.clubsapphire.net. Check out all the amazing events that are happening at Club Sapphire over the next few months. Come out, visit us, say hi to us. If you see us here, come say hi. We'll be friendly because we're friendly people.
Right.
And we're upbeat.
And I want to know what changes has the lifestyle made for you in your relationship? So comment down below and let us know how it's changed you.
Or if it hasn't, if you're the exact same person that you were before you get in the lifestyle, or even more so, if you're new to the lifestyle, what changes are you looking forward to? Is it something that you're like, I can't wait until I can tell my husband that I've had this fantasy about 10 guys?
All right.
Okay.
On that note.
That was awkward. All right. Well, Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
watching.
watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.